The royal family turned out in force at the opening of Royal Ascot yesterday, Tuesday, June the 14th. And Princess Anne's daughter Zara Tindall, 41, seemed particularly pleased to see her relatives. Zara could be seen greeting members of her extended family with a friendly kiss when arriving at the Berkshire racecourse alongside her husband Mike Tindall, 43. The Queen's oldest granddaughter Zara could be seen affectionately pecking the cheek of her uncle Prince Charles, as well as her mother, the Princess Royal, her brother Peter Phillips, and Princess Michael of Kent. Prince Charles, 73, attended the event with his wife Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, and other royals were also seen greeting his niece, Zara, with a peck on the lips. For a moment, the Prince of Wales was also roaring with laughter with his sister-in-law, Sophie, Countess of Wessex. Zara, who is an Olympian equestrian and shares the Queen's love of horses, donned a tie-dyed belted dress for the occasion. She teamed her vibrant frock with a pillowbox pom-pom hat and nude pumps to finish her elegant look. The Queen's granddaughter's statement dress boasted a round neck, a black belt clinched at the waist with bow detailing and a dropped hem. Meanwhile, her husband Mike looked suitably dapper in a top hat and tails as the smiling couple arrived for the prestigious racing event. Charles, for his part, wore a grey suit and black top hat to the outing, while his wife, Camilla Parker Bowles, rocked a blue dress and fascinator. Charles and his wife led the Ascot racecourse procession in place of his 96-year-old mother, the Queen, who did not attend the first day of races. Buckingham Palace has yet to specify the reason behind the Queen's absence, but she has been experiencing mobility issues since 2021. Commenting on Charles and his niece's greeting at the racecourse, body language expert Judi Dench offered an interesting analysis of their gestures. Sharing with the UK's Express, Judi commented, "There was a shock revelation that Charles might actually be quite a hands-on grandpa when we saw little Louis climb onto his lap during the Jubilee pageant and sit happily as Charles bounced him about." Following this, we are now treated to the sight of a very jovial and tactile Charles at Ascot. He was positively beaming in delight as he chats to Sophie and possibly puckering for what looked like a kiss on the lips from his niece Zara, the expert claimed. Is this PDA behaviour from Charles normal? Judi suggested, Charles's facial features are so often scrunched and steepled into an expression. This suggests the duty of princeship weighs heavily on his shoulders. Even with his wife Camilla, their PDAs tend to be restricted to the odd pat and passing smile, the expert opinioned. How does this differ with other members of the royal family? Judi explained, here though, Charles looks in the best spirits of recent years and the mood seems contagious. Sophie is clearly sharing a fun moment with her husband's brother. Zara is obviously incredibly fond of her uncle and keen to show that affection in public. Does Charles's body language with Sophie suggest strong bonds of friendship? Judi explained. Sophie and Charles are roaring with laughter here. Their body language is so mirrored it implies strong bonds of friendship. Zara always uses some very tactile body language rituals during her greetings with her uncle at events like this. For instance, looping her arm around his neck and leaning in as she kisses him. But Charles's response here is extra sweet and affectionate in what looks like a spontaneous way. This is the first time I have seen Charles perform a greeting kiss in public without wincing as he does so. Zara Tindall has often stepped out with Princess Anne and her uncle, Prince Charles. When at royal events, her body language shows she could have a particular close relationship with some family members. Zara is Queen Elizabeth II's eldest grandchild, but she has stayed out of the public eye more than others in the royal family. This could be because Zara was not given an official royal title when she was born. Before the coronavirus lockdown, she was most often seen with other royals at key royal events and races, such as the Royal Ascot races and Cheltenham Festival. According to Judi Dench, during such appearances, Zara has shown her close relationship with Prince Charles. The expert stated, the body language dramatic between Zara and her uncle Charles has been giving joy for many years. If you were to place all the royals on some sliding scale of PDAs and tactile behaviour in public, you'd see Charles close to one end as rather hands-on, stuffy-looking kind of guy, while Zara would sit firmly at the other end as the most spontaneous and gloriously gregarious-looking royal adult. Judi suggested Zara is naturally more affectionate when in public than the future monarch, and she does not seem to tone it down when in his company, displaying dominant but protective body language with Charles. The expert added, "Put the two together and you might expect Zara to tone her playfully affectionate rituals down with her uncle, but instead she seems intent on cutting through all formal stuff by instigating some very dominant-looking hugs that seem to both surprise and delight the prince." During one outing, Zara's trick with Charles seems to be the neck embrace, which is both dominant, emphatic and escape-proof when she meets him. Here she keeps some torso distance but places a rather protective arm around his upper shoulders with her fingers touching his neck. Her more confident pose involves some leg splay plus a hand in a fist shape on her own waist and the elbows stuck out. Charles's pose is more passive, with his hands clasped behind his back, but his eye-to-eye contact and head closeness signals an easy-going and playful relationship. In another picture taken at Royal Ascot, Zara shows similar displays of affection with her uncle. Judi added, "This pose shows Zara's emphatically dominant, steering greeting ritual with her uncle, with that arm placed around his shoulders and the hand clasping his neck. Her eye contact and pinging smile look like an invitation to join in the fun, and Charles responds with what looks like a truncated reciprocal gesture, placing his arm out towards Zara's waist, but without touching her in a hug here." Prince Charles is the older brother of Princess Anne, and his close relationship with Zara may have even helped bring the siblings together, Judi stated. "Anne and Charles will probably never be the closest brother and sister," the expert continued, "but they are beginning to look as though shared goals in terms of their love and sense of duty to their mother and a desire to sustain the image of the royal firm have brought them closer together, along with the obvious affection that Anne's daughter Zara seems to have for her uncle Charles."